Okay, new clip from here. This is extensive blackberry knockback, so that's not too hard getting through there, is it? So maybe we'll look here for Whittier, and it's really rich soil. It looks rich soil, you know, has the rich look of a rich soil. And then something weird going on through there, so maybe we'll be back later on. Some sort of scat there. Yeah, it could be interesting here, fellas. Looks like they've cut back a whole load of blackberry. It's amazing how they've done that. That must have been hard work. Well done, fellas, whoever done that. You've done a good job there, I think. Well done. Anyway, I think that's enough. I think we're going to just cut our way back. Sorry it's been such a fruitless sort of, you know, scramble, but you never know, you know, coming back through these things, you might come across something you least expect. Now this sort of situation, you usually get lots of really good plantationizing situations with that sort of moss, if it's a moss. Well, this looks interesting as well, you know. Anyway, definitely looks like we'll be back here later on in the season. So I don't know now when I should go out to Mount Bold, you know. If it's so cool up here and they haven't produced Jimmy. But strangely enough, this is the time when my Carnivorous Plant Society used to, these 2 months were the months when, you know, April and May used to be when all the Jemmy used to be for swapping. So, yeah. Anyway, we'll see how we go. It just has a bit of a, I don't know. I'm going to be punching Panama Papers, and I'm going to punch every name of everyone from my Carnivorous Plant Society in there, just to see if anything pops up, you know. Might get a few surprises, you never know. Might be laughing my little cotton socks off. Might discover the demise of my Carnivorous Plant Society from its former self has nothing to do with the debacle of the Donald Schnell 2 book, the 2001 book. I mean, even that's a mystery. Everyone talks about it as being 2000, but in the book I've got, it's 2001. So, were there 2 printings or something, and only one was the stuff up? And so I can't understand if there was a stuff up, no one mentioned about the stuff up. You know what I mean? If you lost your money or something, you think someone would mention it. Unless there was no stuff up with the other people because they got the 2000 one that everyone goes. The stuff that was only with the 2001, I don't know, publication. You know, weird things going on with publication. A bit like my copy of Ricky Erickson, you know. It's not like it's saying it was the first edition, it's saying it's first published or something, you know. In most other books you get off the shelf say 1 or 2 things. Lo and behold, I've got a book that says something different, you know, which I have filmed, I think. I showed it to someone else only last year, and someone turned up and I showed it to them at the door, I think. I think it was a Jehovah's Witnesses, I think. What are the odds, you know? You just pull any book randomly off the shelf and it usually has either 1 or 2 things, you know. It usually says it first published in such and such, or it just says that you know it's the first edition sort of thing. But that didn't seem to happen in there's a lot of things. As I said, you know, I went to this special science school, you know, one of these things they set up in the 70s. Not knowing that the whole of Western Australia basically is a Catholic state. It says a lot, doesn't it? You know, you want to keep that pretty hush-hush, I know. But then again, from all the oranges and lemons or whatever stories that are coming out, you can see why they would want to keep that sort of under the radar sort of thing. Oh. Yeah. So anyway, and why we had all these weird things about, you know, the plant's already been discovered, but someone else who totally missed the most amazing thing about the plant. Oh, you know, something to do with divine speciation, all that sort of stuff. I don't know, something to do with that, or showing the fallibles or faults of other people, or in fact there's no Aboriginal stories about it, but it's obvious, you know, if you go out the normal time of the day, it moves faster than the eye can see, so you wouldn't see it. It just makes common and logical sense, you know. I said sometimes it's a simple story, isn't it? It just makes, you know, no one sees it because it really is that fast in its natural setting. And of course, I predict, if I'm not here, somewhere down the track, there's going to be something that's going to explain that. Something in the soil, something with the ecology, edaphic factors, something will explain why. In certain areas, maybe over in WA, they can't move faster than the eye can see. I mean, I know you can get up to 45 degrees at the end of the season at Canada Swamp. You know, what used to be Canada Swamp. Apparently not there anymore. Sacrilege. But yeah, I don't know. I think we just have to break through and start growing really amazing, super large plants built on, as I said, well, there is something really weird going on, because all the science, you know, you do reproductive science, you do things over and over again, and you keep getting the same results. And Einstein says it's insanity. You know, it's the opposite side of insanity, isn't it? You know, you do the same thing, you get the same results. So what is that saying? But when you start to try and move away from those things, then weirdness starts happening. So I take that from that things aren't built on firm foundations, you see. So you've got to find out what the firm foundation is. And if the foundations are flipped, like I've got this idea in the book, you know, the positive is really the negative is really the positive, and we're looking totally round the wrong way sort of thing. So yeah, anyway, I'm sure we'll the other way I like to describe it, it's a bit like supersonic flight. You always have to destroy the plane, put the ailerons in the wrong position to get through the sound barrier. And once you're through the sound barrier, everything's plain sailing and fantastic, you know. All the vibrations are gone, all the way, you know, everything settles down, and you're just in supersonic flight. I think that's what it's going to be like with CPs. You're going to push and push and push and push. And eventually you're going to have to do things almost in the wrong way round, almost crazy things, wrong way round. Well, it looks like you're doing the wrong thing, and suddenly when you do it, everything's just going to settle down, and it's going to fit into a horticultural sense with all the other plants, you know. Once you know what's going on, you can actually grow them bigger and better, faster and more colourful than they do in the wild. But it's going to be like one of those sort of situations. You're going to have to do something almost seemingly crazy, almost seemingly round the wrong way, and you take almost opposed opposite sort of thing to actually break through. You know, you're going to push the ailerons right into the wrong position, and suddenly you're going to have the plants are almost going to look like they're about to die, and suddenly bang, they take off, and then they just keep growing and growing and bigger, and that's where we'll get to our 3.25 to 4 inch traps on a standard fly trap. That's when you're going to get like 120 centimetres on the Saracen. You're going to have 6 inch pitches on your cephaloders. These are my prediction, fellas. Set them in stone if you want, because they're all built on scientific principles of, you know, this is what your upper limit's going to be based on these measurements from the wild sort of thing, you know. You know, and past historical data, things like Darwin getting a lump of banana from Australia sent to him, and he grows it to 80 centimetres tall. And see, surely you can improve on that if you know what's going on. You know, that's your basic line when you know that's with natural soil. Like these old buggers, as I said, they never told us they were growing plants in natural soil. You know, they were basically just going, I think they were just going out and whipping some of them out of the wild. But they were in the days when, you know, not many people were doing it, sort of thing. And, you know, there were still vast tracts of virgin land out there, you know, with thousands, not upon thousands of plants. You know, I'm not really justifying their actions, but I'm just saying it was a different time, a different mentality. You know, there weren't many people doing it. You know, when I was growing up, there was under 10 probably in the whole of the state that were known to be doing CPs. You know, maybe there were more. I mean, if you go back to the old CPNs, I'm probably listed there in the with my full name sort of thing, the RDT thing, if you look for it. So anyway, that's enough for now. I think I've done my dash for today. Had a good guest bag, broken the season sort of thing. Didn't really. Yeah, it's the old card. Now we're going to buy another safety net new one now. $40 a card. It's pretty expensive, but then again, I know I do have a backup. I've only got a 2 terabyte backup hard drive. I reckon that's barely going to last 6 to 8 months at 4K, if that. Maybe even only 4 months at 4K if I do like 3 trips a week or something like that. I don't know if I can keep up the energy for 3 trips a week, but I definitely do need reduced to 284. Anyway, so what's the colour like? It's still backup reserve of Diet Coke in here in the old bag here with the old breathing device in there. Yeah, that's supposed to actually go in there apparently, but I like it in the bottom. I don't know why. I don't know, maybe I just like the colour. Okay, anyway, what is the time now? It's almost 3:30, so it's school time, so there'll be a lot of traffic on the way back. So no filming on the way back, basically. Okay. Oh, okay, sorry, Patch. Had a good go. Be many more goes this season, I think. I said I would have a go for you. You did ask rather kindly, so, you know, I don't mind someone who asks kindly. But we'll see what happens, and if you want to return the favour, just common stuff, that's all I'm interested in. You know, all the various capes, that would be interesting. Red capes, black capes if you got them, white capes, giant capes, wide capes, narrow leaf capes, whatever you got. And the same with banana, all the different forms of banana, but only seed only, remember? Australia's seed only. It's a seed only country here, basically, unless you've got tissue culture, but I don't want to go that because there's some paperwork you have to do as well, and that costs money as well. So just seed, basically, and good quantities. I don't mind. You know, I'd rather have one packet, a good pinch of white cape or a good pinch of red cape. You know, a decent pinch of one species is better than you know, 5 or 6 seeds or many different things. I prefer one good pinch, and that's the way I used to do my stuff. So, you know, you can have a good go, and there's a good chance you'll get some germination and so on and so forth. So that's the way I do. I like one packet of a good pinch. It will do me, sort of thing. I'm not greedy, sort of thing. And I'd rather get some sort of species going and have a good play with the species rather than have lots of attempts, wasting soil because nothing germinates, or they don't quite grow, or you do something wrong and you lose a plant. I'd rather have 20 plants of one species growing up from seed, so if some cat comes into the backyard and knocks something over and you lose it or something, or peas on it or something, you've still got some backup plants from those germinating seeds or thing, you know. The usual thing, you learn from past experience. Things can go wrong. You can have a massive windstorm, a gust of wind, and some pot gets blown off and smashes, and you've got to wait months for the roots to come back, and you know, it just goes on and on and on, doesn't it? Anyway, enough gas bagging. I'll see. I don't think I've got any energy to go back. It's too early in the season. I haven't built up my fitness, I don't think. So anyway, over and out for now, I think.